Right, so Winter Soldier, he's here. He's in the game, and I've done a little bit of playing around with him. I've done some initial testing with the character. Not really testing. I'm just kind of getting to grips with the character. I've been running some of his heroic mission chain, and first of all, that better than the Jane Foster one. The Jane Foster one was just missions. This one actually has semblance of cutscenes in there. Not really what I would want from the game, because the cutscenes are basically just standing around the war table in the helicarrier. There's no like action or anything in the cutscenes how it usually would be, or usually would have been. So that's disappointing, but also what was expected, and also better than what we had with Jane, if only because this is something. The actual story itself is just, it's basically what happened in the Winter Soldier. It's basically every Winter Soldier story that you've ever read, and that's what this is. He was mind controlled. There's a string of words that activates the Winter Soldier, and you're trying to deactivate those codes, and you're trying to find things and clues and whatever, and the finding the clues is basically just kill 30 of this enemy, kill 30 of that enemy, so on and so forth. But you know, it's what we've come to expect. It's not, you know, what I necessarily want the story of this game to devolve into, because that's what this does feel like. It feels like a devolution of what the game used to be, and what the game's story used to be was just a bit poorly managed. But now it's like not near enough non-existent. But I guess what this is better than what we got with Jane. The real meat and potatoes of like the story of this is in the audio files, which I don't like. That's where the meat and potatoes of the storyline is. The audio files should be optional and shouldn't be where the best voice acting, where the best melodrama happens. But it is, and that's annoying. That's really annoying, because what happens in those audio files could easily happen in a cutscene. Easily. There's maybe like one where it makes more sense to be an audio file, but that's it, really. That's the one, right? So Winter Soldier's actual gameplay, he's a hybrid character. He has moves taken directly from other characters in the game. Like, he's got Black Panther's uppercut, he's got Cap's aerial, he's got Cap's base combos. It's when you get into like the power attacks and everything where it gets more spicy. And I think Winter Soldier is one of those characters that's going to feel very good when you have him fully leveled up, because he's got that like kind of like bag of tricks move, but instead of multiple arrows, it's the gun doing pretty much batshit crazy amounts of damage, and there's AoE on that move as well. There's AoE on his high damage melee stuff. Also, he's not good in air, which is good, because we've had several characters now that have been good at aerial combat. So having another character that's very much boots on the ground, it wouldn't make sense for Winter Soldier to be in the air anyway, jumping around multiple enemies in the sky anyway. It does mean that fighting those like sky dogs is annoying, but he does enough damage with his ranged attacks anyway that you can easily make do with those. And it's coming out of being in the air. He has this kind of like rocket down and then into like a Hulk style like smashing the ground thing, like a combo with that does like insane amounts of hits and insane amounts of damage as well. And that's where I think people have the most fun with Winter Soldier. He definitely leans into more fun and more like he is crazy. Like a lot of the things that he does is crazy. Like his arm does that kind of like vibrator punch thing that the Hulkbuster does in Age of Ultron, like the kind of like jackhammer thing. It does that. There's several moves. There's a lot of explosions. There's so much going on. It's not what I would have done. There's still a lot. There's still like too much reuse, and the ult being being the same effect as Cap's, but a different combo changer. It does change the combo, but it's a different combo changer to being more up close and in your face. That is annoying because I would have preferred it be completely different. I would have preferred it to be completely unique to Winter Soldier. And the thing with reusing assets is that you lose some of the character's feel. You lose some of that feel of the character, and you lose that uniqueness of the character. Like with Jane, having her just be Thor, having her just be like a carbon copy of Thor, you lose the uniqueness of Jane. You lose you lose the personality there in the combat. And I think the same to a lesser degree, but the same can be said for Winter Soldier. He's not an echo of anyone specifically. He is a hybrid of every character in the game bar Thor, I think. He's got a little bit of everyone, apart from Thor, Jane, obviously, and maybe Captain, and maybe Miss Marvel. He's got a bit of everyone else. So, and maybe Iron Man as well. Maybe he's missing a little bit of Iron Man as well. But he has the grenades, which work kind of like the rockets. So he's got a little bit of Iron Man as well. So that leads to him being more fun, because you have kind of every character wrapped into one, and you have a little bits and pieces of it's like a greatest hits of all of the other characters rolled into one, and basically all of Cap. The thing that I noticed straight away is that he feels slow, and that's Cap. That's the Cap stuff. Once you start getting Winter Soldier's more unique abilities, he starts getting a lot quicker, and you start doing so much damage that the kind of speed of the animations doesn't really matter, because enemies will be dead before you even realise anyway. And that's kind of the thing that I like about Winter Soldier. He doesn't have a heal. He has invisibility, which kind of works. It's worked every time I've used it, but I have seen examples of it not working. But it's worked every time for me, and I think it makes sense for Winter Soldier to have invisibility, because he is like a spy, like an assassin. so it makes sense for him to go invisible. The ult doesn't make sense to me at all, really. Like, pulling out a knife, yeah, and the animation where it kind of goes into like someone's functioned the Winter Soldier program. It feels like him going into a rage state. So it feels more like a Wolverine thing than or like a Hulk thing than a Winter Soldier thing. But I like that anime. The only thing is, when you go into the ult, you are standing still for like a good 2 seconds when you charge into the ult. So that you're gonna have to be careful. You're gonna have to be careful when going into the ult, because you have to time that out properly, and that might be something that's detrimental to Winter Soldier in the late game anyway. The fact that you won't really get that time or that reprieve to go into it. So maybe that's why you do invisibility first and then you go into the ult. I wouldn't go into the ult without being invisible. That's a little tip for you. Yeah, a lot of Winter Soldier's kit is taken, but the stuff that isn't taken is the best parts of his kit. Like I said, the assault is probably one of my favourites in the game, and I haven't even got the upgrade for it where you can like suck in enemies. It's kind of like the cape thing. I think that would work a lot better. And yeah, I can definitely see fully leveled end game build Winter Soldier being a damage powerhouse, and I think he could be one of the best characters in the game, just purely damage focused. Traversal is probably the only thing that he's going to struggle with. I'm going to do a bit more testing. I'm going to get him leveled up to level 50 and see what his power level is after that, and then I'm going to see where he lands in the tier list. I'll do an updated tier list video with Winter Soldier to see where he fits in that. I'm excited for Winter Soldier. To be honest, if you're going to reuse assets, this is the way to do it. And like I said, the new stuff feels really good, and he's got options for melee stuff, and he's got options for ranged as well. He feels like not only a hybrid character in the way that he's been built, but he's also a hybrid character in the way that he will play as well. He's not solely range focused, and he's not solely melee focused. Both are like equally as good as each other. If you are playing ranged, it's going to be the closest thing to Destiny 2 you're ever gonna see in this game, I think, because it just becomes a full-on third-person shooter. But I think he has been built with melee in mind more than anything, because he has two kind of bag of tricks moves. So I think he might push Hawkeye down the tier list, actually, along with every other character that he's got a little bit of something from, because Hawkeye's only got one bag of tricks. That's a good bag of tricks. The bag of tricks is good, but I think if more characters are being made with that kind of a move in their kit, then that's kind of Hawkeye's bread and butter. Like, that's where you get the most damage off with Hawkeye. So the more characters that are coming out with that skill, with something like that, where they do like a crazy amount of hits as part of a combo, and it's really easy to pull off and stuff. And add in that Winter Soldier has AoE on it, so you're hitting like the whole room basically, and he's like jumping around and everything, and that's part of one combo. Yeah, and add in that he's got like the Spidey web repeater as well on his kit. There are some crazy things you can do with combos for Bucky. He's got so much stuff from other characters that I think he's going to be pretty high on the tier list just for how much he's got stuffed into his combat, because he's got a lot stuffed in. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he looks like when you get him ready for an OLT, when you get him ready for a raid. I'm really excited to see what a end game looking Winter Soldier is going to look like, because even starting off, just jumping in, he's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun. So I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Winter Soldier in Marvel's Avengers. If you think, like me, he's a lot of fun. If you're against these kind of hybrid Echo characters, which I am, to be honest. I think as much fun as Winter Soldier is, I have to say that CD, the next character, because I think it's pretty much confirmed with Miller coming out and saying they're still working on Ultron. I think it's pretty much we can still keep talking like there's going to be a next character until they confirm that the game is officially pulling the plug. I think we can still keep talking like there is going to be a next character. I think we can still keep talking that it's going to be She-Hulk, because there's a voice actress for She-Hulk. So yeah, with your next character, She-Hulk, I think at least all of the heroics need to be different. At least. And at most, I think it should be a complete ground up, new, original, wholly different animations, everything feeling different character. And if that takes longer to make, I'm happy to wait. Let us know what's going on, like with the state of the game. Give us a state of the game blog when you go off for Christmas break, which will be sometime in the first week of December. Release a thank you for being a part of Avengers in 2022, state of the game going into 2023 blog, or live stream or something. Give us information on what you're working on next year, and give us timestamps for when to expect it, because we've got Patrol Mode that's supposed to be coming out soon. That's supposed to be coming out at some point. It's already a year after it was announced. So what's going on with that? Is that happening? Next character, next villain, where's the story gonna go after MODOK? After, like, the end of the AIM saga? Where are you taking the game? Give us a blog. You're under new management now from Embracer Group. Hopefully Embracer Group will kick you into new gear. If you're pulling the plug, I don't think they are, because work on Ultron, still getting new skins. I don't think we're gonna have the plug pulled. I think they would. I would like to think, I have enough faith in CD, in Crystal Dynamics, that if Winter Soldier was going to be the last character, I would like to think that they would have announced that. I would have liked to have thought that if Winter Soldier was going to be the last thing that they were putting out, that they would say, this is our last content drop. That they would advertise it as the last content drop. You would expect that, wouldn't you? So I think there is more. From that, I can safely say there's probably more gas in the tank. How much gas is there in the tank? Who knows? Enough for one more update? Enough for another year? Enough for 2 years? I think if the content shakes up a bit more in 2023, I think we can see a couple more years from this. I hope. Because Winter Soldier to me is a sign of hope. It's a sign that there's still life kicking in this game. I don't know about you guys, but I think he is good enough for me to say, and the unique stuff, the new stuff, is good enough for me to say that there's still life in Marvel's Avengers yet. How much, I don't know how much life there is left, but there's more. I feel better after playing Winter Soldier. I feel more confident after playing Winter Soldier that there is still signs of life than I was before Winter Soldier. I have to play the OLT. I have to, get a character to 175 and all that jazz. But until then, I only have Winter Soldier to go off of. And for me, Winter Soldier is good. He's good. I have to say that he's good. The skin debacle, I don't agree with having a unmasked variant and especially a non-goggled variant to be, separate purchases. I don't agree with having 3 separate skins for the movie look of Winter Soldier, and the difference is you've got one with the full goggles and mask, you've got one with no goggles, and you've got one with no goggles, no mask, fully unmasked. And and all of those skins, that's 3 different skins, all cost the same. If you don't get them as part of the bundle now, for 2,200 credits, what I would do instead of that is I would have a skin that has included an unmasked variant. No, just getting rid of the goggles, because I don't know who would want that. Either have the mask on fully, or don't have a mask on at all. And I would have one that you can swap interchangeably, and have that skin be a slightly higher price, not like 700 more or 800 more, but have it be like 100 more than a legendary or an exotic skin. Have it be like 1,500 instead of 1,400. That's just me. Maybe that's a bad business practice. Maybe you want to make as much money off the skins as possible because they're the only things that are giving you money. But yeah, I don't know if I can justify that. That's the only thing that I will say I'm completely against. But yeah, next character needs to be completely rebuilt from the ground up. Completely built from the ground up. And I hope that they are. Because having 2 Echoes in a row, Jane being an Echo and Winter Soldier being a hybrid. You know, we need something completely original. We need something that's going to shake the game, that's going to breathe new, fresh life into the game, more than Winter Soldier did. Winter Soldier breathed life into the game like a defibrillator. It gave the game a shock, but I think we need something that's going to fully resuscitate it. You know, take the life support, get us off of life support and out of the hospital kind of thing. We need like a big content update at some point. And I know that the team is small. I know that we can't expect too much, but a boy can dream, can't he? And the game is at a very bad state, even with the OLT and Winter Soldier. The game is limping, and we need I think it needs something big and drastic to really, you know, bring new things in. They've had, you know, new hirings. Brian's hopefully out of the picture. The weird thing is that we were told by CD that Brian wouldn't be talking about Avengers anymore, but he's still tweeting about Avengers. He's still, you know, there, like a bad smell that won't go away. I don't know. I tend to I'll just ignore that Brian exists from now on. You know, it's no skin off my back. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Winter Soldier and who you think is coming next. I'm adamant that it's She-Hulk. I think we can all agree that if there is a new character coming, it's probably going to be She-Hulk and then Captain Marvel, and hopefully there's not too much time between them. One can hope, one can dream. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.